The moment Armand Sheikh saw the missing food from his lavish kitchen for the third time that week, something inside him snapped. The security cameras didn't lie. A quiet, unnoticed figure, his maid, had been taking small portions of food late at night. Standing in his marble-floored mansion, surrounded by abundance, Armand felt betrayed in a way that burned deeper than the loss itself. In his world, trust was everything, and to him, it had just been broken. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to DIMEX Story. Your support helps keep these meaningful stories alive. Armand had built his empire from nothing. Every luxury he owned was earned through sleepless nights and relentless struggle. Perhaps that was why he had no tolerance for dishonesty. The next morning, under the bright daylight pouring through tall glass windows, he called his maid Sarah into the living room. She stood there quietly, her worn clothes neat but faded, her eyes lowered. Without giving her much chance to explain, Armand accused her of stealing and fired her on the spot. He handed her the final payment, his voice cold, his decision firm. Sarah didn't argue. She simply nodded, whispered a soft thank you, and walked out, clutching the envelope as though it carried more than just money. But something about her silence unsettled him. The entire day, Armand tried to move on, burying himself in meetings and business calls. Yet the image of Sarah's expression, strangely calm, almost resigned, kept returning to him. There was no panic, no desperate pleading, just quiet acceptance. By late afternoon, curiosity mixed with a faint unease pushed him toward a decision he didn't fully understand. As the sun cast long golden shadows across the city, Armand got into his car and followed her. Sarah walked through crowded streets, past busy markets and noisy traffic, until the scenery slowly changed. The polished roads gave way to cracked paths, the tall buildings replaced by tightly packed, crumbling houses. Armand parked at a distance and continued on foot, careful not to be noticed. The air felt heavier here, filled with the smell of dust and hardship. She finally stopped in front of a small, broken house that looked like it could collapse at any moment. The door creaked open as she stepped inside. Armand hesitated for a moment before moving closer, his heart beating strangely fast. He stood just outside, close enough to see through the half-open door. What he saw inside shattered him. The room was dim, lit only by sunlight filtering through torn curtains. On a thin mattress in the corner lay a frail elderly woman, her body weak, her breathing uneven. Beside her sat two small children, their faces pale, their eyes filled with hunger. Sarah rushed to them, her tired face instantly softening into warmth. She opened the small bag she carried and carefully took out the food she had brought. The children's eyes lit up with desperate relief. She fed them gently, breaking the food into tiny pieces to make it last longer. Then she turned to the elderly woman, lifting her slightly and feeding her with the same care, as if every bite mattered more than anything in the world. Armand felt his chest tighten painfully. He watched as Sarah herself didn't eat. She simply sat there, smiling faintly as the others finished every last crumb. Her hands trembled slightly from exhaustion, but there was a quiet strength in her presence. This wasn't theft driven by greed. This was survival. This was sacrifice. A wave of guilt crashed over him so suddenly that it left him breathless. Tears blurred his vision as he realized the truth he had been too quick to ignore. In his world of luxury, he had judged her actions without understanding her reality. He had seen only the act, not the reason behind it. And now, standing there in the fading daylight, he felt smaller than he ever had in his entire life. Armand stepped back, unable to watch any longer. His mind raced with regret, his heart heavy with shame. He had fired someone who was not just working for a salary, but fighting a silent battle every single day. Someone who had chosen to feed others before herself. That night Armand couldn't sleep. The image of that small room, those hungry faces, and Sarah's quiet sacrifice haunted him. By morning, he knew what he had to do. As the sun rose, bringing a new day, Armand returned to that same broken house, but this time he didn't hide. He knocked gently. When Sarah opened the door, surprise filled her eyes. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Armand, the man who once stood so confidently in his decisions, now struggled to find words. His voice was softer, humbler, as he apologized, not just for firing her, but for failing to see her truth. He offered her the job back, but more than that, he promised something far greater: support, stability, dignity. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of relief. From that day forward, things began to change, not just for her, but for Arman as well. He started using his wealth differently, becoming more aware of the lives around him. The mansion that once felt like a symbol of success slowly transformed into a place of compassion and understanding. And perhaps for the first time in years, Arman felt something deeper than success. He felt human. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, comment, share, and support DIMEX Story. Your engagement helps spread messages that truly matter. Before this story ends, tell us in the comments, would you have done the same if you were in Arman's place? Because sometimes, the biggest lessons in life don't come from success, but from the moments that break us, open our eyes, and teach us to see the world with a little more kindness.